types
You
of
did it.
people
You
after high
graduated. You
school.
survived 4 years of awkward class presentations, school lunches that probably violated the Geneva Convention, and your Discord group chat did not get leaked. But now you're out, you're free, and suddenly that question hits like a truck. So what's next? Some people sprint toward college like it's the finish line, others clock into a job 2 days later like, yep, this is life now. And then there's the rest of us just sitting in our rooms like, should I start a podcast or a pyramid scheme? Let's talk about it. Finish line, others clock into a job 2 days later like, yep, this is life now. And then there's the rest of
I don't know who Brett is right here, but his hairline is actually
us just sitting in our rooms like, should I
Look at that. Oh my gosh. All right,
start
I'm
a
not gonna do that, I'm
podcast
sorry.
or a pyramid scheme? Let's talk about it. The types of people after high school and how weird this phase of life actually is. Starting off, we have the college dreamer. These are kids that always knew they were going to college. They had a dream school, a major, a life plan, a backup plan, and a backup for their backup. They got their
I had a couple people like this in high school, but the thing about them is some of them would be like people or just people that do things that you never expected, bruh. Like you would look at them and be in school, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I have straight A's, a 4.3 GPA." Then you see him at a party, you like, I didn't even know I didn't even know you could get like this. I went to high school with this girl, probably one of the smartest girls in our entire freaking whatever they call it, like class of 2023. That's when I graduated. But, bruh, I'm talking about she was in with the school. She was basically like, we already kind of knew she was going to be the valedictorian. I'm going to be so honest, bruh. Like, you could just tell. So, what is it, grad bash? The week after you graduate high school, she was there. And I'm not going to name drop because it don't matter. But I'm just sitting there thinking like, yo, I didn't, like, because she was drinking. I didn't know. I was like, yo, what?
in a Discord server for their class before orientation and had their roommate's name memorized before they even graduated high school. Fast forward a few weeks and it's like, yeah, I'm 14 grand in debt, I hate my major, and my roommate's been coughing since the second week of school. College is cool if you know what you're doing, but most people don't. Most people just go because they're told to by parents, teachers, guidance counselors, and the ghost of the American dream, and now you're paying 40 grand a year just to cry in a communal bathroom. Fun times. But then there's the people who skip college and go straight into the workforce. They start working warehouse jobs, retail, construction, whatever gets the bills paid. They're making money, stacking checks, and eating out every night because they still live at home and only have 3 bills. At first it sounds smart. You're making money right away, no student loans hanging over your head, and your weekends are free if you're lucky. You start thinking, hey, this might actually be a better path. But then the reality sets in. The hours are long, the pay isn't as life-changing as you thought, you're constantly tired physically and mentally, you go home drained, you wake up drained, and every day starts blurring together. You're surrounded by people twice your age.
Bro, this is actually so true, bro. Now, I went to college, I went to college my freshman year. But, bro, being young and getting a job is like, it's a humbling experience, bro. It'd be days where I would go into work and I'm like, bro, I ain't even been there 30 seconds. I'm like, I'm already ready to go home, bro. I'd be like, I'm already ready to go home, bro. And it's like, wow. I done worked at warehouses. My first ever job was when I was in high school. I worked at Krispy Kreme. I thought that junk was nice, bro. But then I didn't realize, like, they really do get critical, like, especially, like, during them college years. That's why I'm taking my years of 18 to 25 so serious, because I'm not about to be 40 working a back-breaking job, bro. I'm not doing that, bro. So we gotta make it work. Grind this content out, post, and just grind, bro. Because I'm not trying to sit here. My goal is to retire by the time I'm 30. I'm 20. I just turned 21, so I got a little, like, I got about 9, a little less than 9 years. I can do this, bro. I can do that, bro.
Isn't a launch pad, this is where people stay, because they don't have time, energy, or options left to go anywhere else. It becomes routine. Wake up, commute, work, home, sleep. Do that for the rest of your life with...
Bro. Alright, that's my last time pausing for the next 2 minutes. That is literally the formula. I'm not trying to do that for 40, 50 years, bro. No, that's just not what I see for myself. And to anybody, bro, If you have other interests, bro, just chase it, bro. Like you can work a job and post content. I do it. Like it's about how bad you want it. Like I see these clips. I forget his name, but I see these clips and he's just like, after you clock out of your job, go work for yourself, bro. And that means working for yourself is pertaining to advancing and furthering anything that you want to do that you can boost into a career, bro. So for me, that's posting videos, that's streaming, that's editing videos. Now I know I haven't been consistent as I usually am, but you still gotta post. And even after that break, it's like, okay, I had to really reevaluate. I'm like, how bad do I really want it, bro? And I'm falling back in love with making content again. Once you start looking at it as a job and just doing it because it's fun, I feel like you'll see way more results, and your outlook and perspective will be way different when you're creating these things. Like you could be a rapper, you could be a singer, you could be anything. You could be an actor, content creator, athlete. Like, bruh, you just gotta start somewhere, bruh. I be telling y'all, bro. I started on my freaking phone, bro.
Maybe 2 weeks off per year if your boss approves the PTO. And for a lot of people, the scariest part isn't even the job itself. It's the idea that you could blink and suddenly be like 40, still there, still stuck, wondering what your life could have been if you'd done something else. Then there's that person, the one who said, I'm taking a gap year. Not because they couldn't go to college, not because they had a plan, but because they needed to find themselves, to travel, to breathe, to experience the world. You ask them where they're going and they'll hit you with, I'm thinking Europe or maybe Southeast Asia. You know, go off the grid for a bit. 6 months later, they haven't gone further than the local Taco Bell. They wake up at 2 p.m., scroll TikTok for 3 hours, and then tweet something deep like healing isn't linear. Their idea of working on themselves is watching 3-hour video essays on YouTube about movies they've never seen. They downloaded Duolingo to learn French but stopped after bonjour. They keep saying they're gonna start a clothing brand, and they did design one hoodie in Canva that they haven't posted because they're waiting for the right vibe. And listen, there's no shame in taking a break. Sometimes that time off is necessary, especially if school has burnt you out. But the problem is this break becomes your whole life. You know, 1 month becomes 3, 3 becomes 6. And before you know it, they've built a full routine around doing absolutely nothing. Wake up late, stare at a wall, play some Valorant, hit up their local gas station for dinner, and repeat. But they'll keep saying, trust me, bro, I got plans. And when you ask what those plans are, it's always vague. Big things coming. I'm in a building phase right now. No, you're not.
The thing about having a plan is, bro, people ask me what's my plan, right? And I tell them I'm going to take off with this content. But the way that I explain it, one, you can see it through my actions and what I post and how often I post. And two, you can just hear it by how I describe it, bro. It's very deep. Like, it's not just a vague thing like, oh, I'm just going to make this work. Like, no, like, I got steps. I got plans. I got different things. I got people that I know. I got people that I want to network with, collaborate with. Like, I got these different things that ultimately lead up to my big goal. It's not going to be like, it's not going to be like this. It's going to be like this and then go all the way down. You might hit the nay sometimes, like whatever. But when you have a plan, bro, you got to get down to the fingerprint, bro. Like, you got to get down how I'm going to do it, who I want to bring with me, all these different things, bro. But you got to figure that out for yourself, bro.
In pajamas at 4 p.m. They'll talk about launching something like they're Elon Musk, but the closest thing they've launched is a DoorDash order. They keep referencing the economy like it's the reason they haven't made a move yet. Like, I mean, with inflation the way it is right now, bro, you don't even pay for gas. What are you talking about? And look, we've all been there to some extent. You know, the weird limbo phase. You're technically free. You don't owe anyone anything. You're just kind of floating. And for a while, that can feel amazing. You're not answering to teachers. You're not stuck in a classroom. You're not dealing with exams or deadlines. But if you're not careful, that float becomes a free fall. You stop making decisions, you stop trying, and you convince yourself that you're waiting for the right moment when really you're just scared to start. Gap years are fine, resting is fine, vibing is fine, but if your gap year turns into a gap decade and your life plan still revolves around a clothing brand that does not exist yet, maybe it's time to clock back in. Next up, we have the friend who straight up disappears after high school. High school ends and this person vanishes like it's a Marvel post-credit scene. 1 minute they were at every hangout, every group chat, every chaotic late night Discord call, then poof, they're gone. They stop replying, they leave the Snap group chat without saying a word. They're not mad, they're not beefing, they just dipped. At first you're like, maybe they're busy, but then weeks turn into months, birthdays go by, inside jokes get forgotten. And the next time you think of them is because Instagram reminded you with one of those weird people you may know stories where they're standing in front of a Jeep with a quote like, only forward from here, Then one day out of nowhere, you run into them. Target, gas station, Taco Bell, doesn't matter. And it's the weirdest interaction of your life. Oh my God, how have you been? Good, I'm just working a lot, grinding. Yeah. Grinding what? No one knows. You're half expecting them to tell you they're a freelance monk or something. And the thing is, they're not weird or rude or distant when you see them again. They're chill, they're polite. It's like catching up with a coworker you forgot you used to be best friends with. You part ways with some, awkward let's hang soon energy, knowing damn well it's never happening. And it's not a bad thing really. It's just what happens. People drift, they move towns, they get new jobs, new circles, new priorities. But
I feel like a lot of that is part of just simply locking in, bro. Like I'm telling you, bro. If y'all are still in school, bro, lock in, bro. If you work hard while you're young, bro, you can chill. You can be on the island in Cancun sipping on a freaking pina colada. Or just start, bro. If you're trying to build this master plan, I'm going to get rich this way, and I'm going to do this before I start. I'm going to make sure I got the PC and stuff before I start. You're not going to get nowhere, bro. You're going to spend 5 years trying to plan this stuff out. And the next thing you know, it's 15 years have passed by. And all the time that you could have been spending in investing into your craft, getting better and getting better and getting better, you could have 15 years of experience, but you're only on year one because you wanted to wait so long. And then by that time, it might be too late. Look, I've been creating content since 2023. And the biggest thing I learned was to just start from somewhere, bro. I used to make skits, bro. I'm a young black man. Of course I play football. I'm a young black man. Of course I like chicken. Y'all see how my leg hit the thing and I forcefully made myself fall?
Fuck you laughing at? You're spoiled ass.
Unexpected item in
It still hits you sideways when someone who was in your life every single day just becomes a memory. You start realizing how many friendships were based on proximity, not purpose. Y'all weren't soulmates, y'all just sat next to each other in biology for 4 years. And it's weird because when it happens, you think you did something wrong. Like, did I say something? Did I forget to reply to something important? No, they're just on a different path now, and that's okay. It still stings, but it's okay. Eventually.
No, actually, about that proximity thing, I used to tell this girl, we went to the same college after high school. I used to be like, man, I sat next to you. I can't talk. I used to be like, I sat next to you during graduation. Is that really how you gonna treat me? So, and we had the same, I think we had the same class. I don't know. This was 2 years ago. I don't remember. I'm getting old. But I used to always be like, that used to be my cop out. I used to be like, so this is how you gonna treat somebody that you sat next to in graduation.
You'll be that person to someone else too. You'll vanish from their life, pop up months later. Yo, it's been a minute, DM with no explanation. And that's just how life moves after high school, Friendships stop being automatic. You actually have to put effort in, and if neither of you do, that bond just fades. Not out of malice or hatred, just out of life. Sorry, I'll try to keep it lighthearted, not to get too existential with you guys. Alright, next up we got the bum. There's the gap year person, and then there's their final form, the bum. Because the gap year person pretends that there's a plan. The bum, they're not even pretending anymore. They're in a deep void, no goals, no job, no plan, just vibes, vape clouds, and a mattress on the floor. Their sleep schedule doesn't exist. They just collapse at random. They've watched 18 seasons of Grey's Anatomy this month alone. Every day is just a blur of TikToks, microwave burritos, and nah, I'll do it tomorrow. You ask them what they're up to, and they'll go, just chilling lately, trying to figure stuff out. Bro, it's been a year. What are you trying to figure out? Shapes? They'll randomly bring up business ideas that sound like fever dreams, like, I might start a CBD candle line. I've been looking into, vending machines and passive income, You look over and they're watching a 6-hour YouTube documentary on crypto by a guy named Finance Daddy. They haven't applied to a single job, not because they're unqualified, but because they haven't updated their resume since 10th grade when they worked at Chuck E. Cheese for 2 weeks. Most of the time, the bum used to be the gap year person. They took a break to chill and they just never got back up. It's like when your computer goes into sleep mode but never wakes back up. That's them. It's being stuck in a permanent loading screen. That's kind of the post-high school lineup. There's definitely some people I haven't covered, so 10,000 likes for a part 2. Whether you're in college pretending to take notes on a Zoom class or working 10-hour shifts debating if a Costco membership counts as an investment, you're not alone. None of us know what we're doing, and the ones that do, they're probably faking it better than the rest of us. Everyone moves at their own pace. Some people jump ahead and crash. Some fall behind and catch up later. Some disappear and come back with a beard and a business. But no matter where you're at, just don't get stuck. Don't let temporary become forever. Don't let comfort become your cage. And definitely don't convince yourself that burnout means you're just mature. That's not maturity. That's just poor hygiene and caffeine addiction. So take your time. time, take a nap, take a risk, but whatever you do, don't take advice from that one guy selling a $97 course on how to escape the Matrix. Okay, goodbye.
Please, no. He's actually speaking facts, bruh. Please, I told y'all this before. Please stop buying these people's courses. They're scamming you, bruh. You are the reason they're living this high-end lifestyle, bruh. I told y'all before. They'd be like, if you want to learn how to make $1 million in 30 days, buy my course. Bruh, you are going to get the scam of a lifetime, bruh. Shout out to Cheats for the video. I just really wanted to react to him, or react to this. Shout out to Cheats for the video. His channel is going to be in the link in the description, and yeah.